I see my video now, and I didn't see it a moment ago. We will tighten up a number of um, these glitches that we have as we bring on board other individuals who are more talented and skilled and motivated to take care of these incidentals. Um, do you think we will have a problem finding a video producer, a video, give them a shot at starting their careers early if many of them haven't already done so? So we'll have those young people engaged and involved because that's what we believe in, Black community development through youth entrepreneurship. So this is a Black community show. We want to develop it, and we want to utilize youth entrepreneurs. Hopefully the title caught your attention. Hopefully the title caught your attention. Developing Black Millionaires. I have been wrestling with a number of curriculum design issues. And in the development of this curriculum to present to our community, there are a number of challenges that you have to address in the development of the curriculum. If you're not a curriculum designer or an engineer who builds bridges, then you will look at the bridge and think that because you see the bridge standing there, it's safe to cross the bridge in your 3, 4, 6-ton truck. But the engineers say that there are some design flaws, or there's some technicalities, there are some issues within the design of the bridge that they would strongly advise against utilizing the bridge at that time. So it is with the things that I've designed and I am in the process of implementing. There are some internal issues, just like the engineer and the bridge, that the average common viewer won't see. They may have intuition or some feelings or some idea, but they really don't understand clearly what's going on here when we start talking about this curriculum. So I've been wrestling with these curriculum issues. They're not insurmountable. Boiled it down to a presentation excited about. I wish I could take full credit for it myself, but I learned about this from a gentleman named Roger James Hamilton. Roger James Hamilton. And he produced a document, in fact, a book entitled The Millionaire Master Plan. I listened to the book, and my interest was highly piqued. And the things that I learned from listening to the book, I don't just listen. I listen to some books in one ear, out the other, in one ear some stays. Then there's some that I take time to study. This is one that was worth studying, and I'm still in the study of it. Why? Because it's good material that even you could use. And since I know I'm adopting it in my life, then I want to be able to share some of these success strategies with other people. That's what this is all about. As a like businessman whose book called Powernomics suggests strategies for the development of the Black community. And so I added something to what he's already outlined because as a curriculum designer, once again, I saw what he did and I realized how good it is, how comprehensive it is, and it should, which would be right in line with the overall feeling, tone, and theme of what Dr. Anderson is saying in his books. Youth entrepreneurship is a component that I have clearly identified and delineated as being important enough that it has its own moniker, its own attachment to Black community development through youth entrepreneurship. It is a vehicle by which attain wonderful objectives. Utilize this tool called youth and structure the youth in a way that they are entrepreneurs and small business owners, project managers, and are capable of not only playing the flute, as many of our young people can play a flute and jam with it, or saxophone, track, divide, design bridges and spaceships. All of those things are great. This is not an either or, but an area in which so many of our people are coming up short is in economic development. Why? Do I really need to go into the why, going back years and years and years, talking about slavery, talking about Jim Crow, talking about second class, excuse me, talking about second class citizenship? My days start very early in the morning, and by this time it's starting to wind down. I'm going to be broadcasting starting in the mornings all the way throughout the day, like Business Alliance Central, where we will bring in, disseminate information, share it with you, and also bring some of you all on. Right now, it's a one-man show, and I'm going to describe that to you. In fact, since I brought that up, that's perfect. Let me tell you about this Millionaire Master Plan. I have an idea here, a concept here through Legacy Leaders Academy. We're looking at offering a Millionaires Academy program. It's designed to take middle schoolers, elementary school students, and usually those are families, the families of middle schoolers and elementary school students. Oh, excuse me, which we call our elementary students are mini moguls. Our middle school students are middle school merchants. Our preschoolers, who are we're concerned about as well. Our preschoolers are called baby ballers. So the early ones, baby ballers, mini moguls, and then middle school merchants. Those young people whose families it is that we need to work through. I'm an educator. I'm not interested in dealing with the preschool kids per se. I love children, those kids. I love playing with them. And when I come into a room, I see the little baby, I'm going to make those faces and make sounds and noises and play with that little baby and just have so much fun with that kid till it's time to change the diaper. And then somebody else can take over and they can get all that love. That's not me. But I love that. The young kids, they're so innocent. They're so open for learning and knowledge. You can pour so much into them and help develop them into whatever. I'm inclined to believe that when a woman who's 30 some odd years old has been arrested for certain types of illicit behavior in the streets for fees, that she wasn't born on that day with somebody labeling her to be, this is what you're going to be when you're in your 30s. Crackheads, I was going to say a person that's struggling with the crack kids, I don't mean any hurt, harm, or danger, but if you're smoking crack, that would make you a crackhead in our community. You know what I'm talking about. I can be more politically correct, not take away any of their value, because there are some people that utilize those drugs who are very valued people in their communities. They're just struggling with those drugs, with those non-productive and disabling habits. We have them in our community, which is why I don't apologize at all in any way, shape, form, or fashion for targeting my efforts and my work toward the Black community, because it's in dire straits. And it's easy for me to walk away and go do something else. I can easily do that, but I can't because of who I am. I just can't. No, let me rephrase that. I just won't. I just won't. And let me fix that too. At least not yet. Don't come up to snuff pretty quick on some of these things. As I'm getting older, I won't be at my. I'm not going to spend my entire life, hopefully not, just trying to chase down folks that just don't want to excel. I will work with those people that want to do better, and I will hope for the best for those different roads they want to take. But generally, my focus at this stage is on those young kids, those mini moguls, those preschool kids, those elementary school students, those middle schoolers, that are really, first of all, capable. Let me get to the meat of this. Excuse me. Let me take a choke break for a second. Hold on, you understand? Ooh, cold water is great. All right, let's get to the gist of this. The National Black Business Alliance seeks to develop the Black community, and we have been promoting a national Black agenda, which is Black community development through youth entrepreneurship. Let me give you our burning imperative. Let me give you those things which drive myself and others that are working on this project. This is what drives us. It's our burning imperative that we change lives $1 at a time. At a time. I mean that. We can do a lot with $1. You'll be surprised. If you double it every day, you'll be surprised how fast you'll get to $1 million. The vision is the National Youth Center for Entrepreneurship to promote 20,000 new businesses, Black businesses, between 10 and 20,000 new Black businesses. I looked up that number. That's a very aggressive number. If I read the numbers correctly and I just did a quick perusal over some things, and I'm sure that I didn't break information, because it appears to me that there were about 20,000 Black businesses, 25,000 Black businesses created every year. So for the National Black Business Alliance to go out and seek to pretty much match, that's an aggressive objective. So let's do it. Between 10 and 20,000, that's the vision. What are our values? We value people, we value passion, we value productivity. People, passion, productivity, put those three together and should develop pleasure. You should be pleased with your work if you are a respecter of people, if you're a respecter of people's passions, if you're a respecter and a helper of them to be productive, then you should find pleasure in that. What are our goals? To develop entrepreneurs? Simple as that. To increase Black business income, revenues, increase revenues to Black businesses. Our objectives are very simple. We want to build teams of 1,000 teams of youth business specialists. 50,000 teams. That sounds like a lot, but that's easily be able to find 1,000 young people and their families who are interested in earning extra income by starting a business, period. And so our goal is to build Black businesses to increase Black business revenue. That's what we do. National Black Business Alliance, it's an incubator accelerator. The second goal is the ego, deals with earning income. We want, as I just mentioned, revenue generating. We don't want to start businesses just to say we have businesses and have business cards, which people don't hardly even use nowadays, business cards. We need to generate revenue. And the goal is this. This is how we generate revenue, based on word of mouth driven, internet based, but word of mouth driven. We want to do those things that make people talk about us, talk about you, talk about your business. So we have some milestones here. I'm not going to go into those milestones. Let me just share these 2 or 3 things with you, and then we're going to cut this pretty short for today. And get education. I'm going to invite some of you all to come on the air. Pretty soon we're going to start having guests coming on the air, having discussions, debates, arguments, whatever, but a fun time on the air. Tuesdays is education. Wednesdays is business. On Wednesdays, we definitely want to talk business with those of you that have companies in the Houston area or anywhere in the country. We want to talk business with you, find out about what you do. It's free, no charge. The show blew up. On Thursdays is politics. We want to talk about politics. We're talking about the elected political leaders in our community. We're going to discuss that. I think on this upcoming week, I will release a list of invited Houston area Black community government leaders. These are people that are being invited to, if nothing else, use the role that we assign to them to vote on issues related in the Black community. For instance, there's certain people that are local dynamos, go-getters locally. They're going to get a lot of powerful, influential, beneficial things done in local neighborhoods. I'll give you one, John Marsden. John Marsden is an avid worker for the homeless. You hear me mention him often. I'm just that impressed. Brother doing what he's doing. I would invite John to be one of our local community council members who will vote on things related to the community in which member, or be a council member at large. And we're going to respect his opinion. He and multiple others in the community will be voting council members that will vote on issues related to the Black community that are being brought to the council, as well as vote where allocation, monies that are being raised by all of us and put in a common pot. There's now let me wait, hold on now. I'm not trying to encourage you to put money in a common pot. I'm encouraging you to take this income generating position, a paid position as an intern, to help build the common pot. I'm not asking you to volunteer, donate a dime, do your own thing. But if you're looking for work, then we have work for you, because we're building a common pot here. Can vote on what we do with the money. It may come up as an issue. You might want to pay for, I don't know, X amount of rooms for homeless. It might cost $5,000. I'm not sure. But if that's what he and the council members wanted to do for the homeless, and the money has been raised and we should have far, then that money can be expended based on what those people at that local level decided to do. Now, you're raising the money using the system I developed, but I developed the system to raise money for these issues in our community. So I'm not asking you to volunteer for anything. You're too broke to be volunteering. We already know you're volunteering and give your time. We know that. That's a wonderful, virtuous thing. Always do some of that. But one of the things you need to do at this stage is generate this. You need some money so you can go volunteer. So let's go get that money. So the Millionaires Club, the Millionaires Business Club, is designed to focus on generating $1 million. I gave you the objectives, the strategies and whatnot, the milestones. Let me give you something else here. Let me tell you about this situation. So for 2025, the NBBA is fostering a number of income generating projects, because, as I told you, the purpose is, at the end of the day, Black people need some money. You don't need another program. Whatever I'm coming up with, at the end of the day, it means delivering some money to you. When I was pastoring and working in pastoral work for years and years and years, I never received a check from anybody to pastor a church. Not even when I founded my own church and did that for 3 or 4 years. Never. We always put money into the church. God is always but at the end of the day, when people had a need, they would come and want you to pray for them, and I'd pray for them to help them with their child trying to get tuition to go to school, or somebody didn't have enough money, or needed a car note, or needed rent paid, something like that. I don't know. I could pray, but I got tired of praying. I'm not your prayer warrior like that. I talk to God all the time. We have conversations all the time. And I'm real with them because how else can I be every day I am? I'm before God. I put it before God, and that's up to Him and you. But at the end of the day, after the prayer is over, I want to be able to help somebody with that too. When the prayer is over, I want to be able to help somebody house off, not just make a house note or rent. At the end of the day, I want to be able to help people pay off thousands of dollars in bills. I want to be able to help Black people. In order to do that, we need some whatever. Talk to the people who know me. I've never been one to chase money. I'm not chasing it now. I'm outlining some things that's going to make you come and call me. I already know when I tell you that we can put you on television, radio, print magazine, just those three for $20. You don't think somebody's going to call me? Are you serious? I'm serious about the offer I just made for 10 people, no more than 10, $20. And we'll do that radio, TV, video, just to show you what we can do. Now, those are just three things. That's not even all what we can do. Let me. This is the Millionaire Master Plan. This is what I told you the gentleman, Roger James Hamilton, put together. And what was so impressive to me about it was he outlined a wealth lighthouse with 9 stories. He said something interesting, that he said this was not something he invented, but it's something that's been around for a long time from an economic standpoint, that people kind of knew about this. Well, I didn't, okay? But it's impressive. I will be utilizing this in our Millionaires Club because I'm looking to help some people get on the path to becoming millionaires. It's really not as hard as you might think it is. It's really not. Well, you might say, well, Earl, how come you're not a millionaire yet? I don't know exactly, but I probably have to ask my millionaire friend out in DC, my millionaire friend 2 or 3 in Atlanta. They just slipped my mind right now. I don't have to be a millionaire right now. It's not necessary. I'll explain it to you later. But at any rate, the millionaire plan. Here's what you need to know. I'm on a millionaire plan for 2025 to help. My goal is at least 100 young people be on a path to become millionaires, if not reach that goal by the end of next year. Then it's really doable, very doable. If I gave you the breakdown of how the business is structured, you would know it's doable. In fact, the master plan a little bit first. Millionaire Master Plan says this: there's 9 levels to the Wealth Lighthouse. I'm going to tell you about 3. They're broken down in sets of 3, then 3. The first 3 are basically foundational. They're the bottom levels that everything else sits on, and it's pretty much personal leverage where you're leveraging yourself personally. The next 3 levels, which I'm not going to tell you all the name levels, the 3 levels I'm going to tell you about are infrared, red, and then orange. Those are 3 levels I'm going to tell you about. Anything more than that, you really need to come and be in the class, and you'll learn about this. But it made a major difference in my life. Just that short time, just that short image of the Wealth Lighthouse. Watch this. Let me see. Where do you fit in? At the bottom level, the very bottom level of the Wealth Lighthouse is what they call the victim level. I didn't like that term when I first heard it. Victim. I didn't like the idea about thinking about being a victim. Then I realized that what they're talking about is being victimized by your lack of economic understanding and knowing what to do to change your economic situation. So you've been victimized, or you are being victimized pretty much by yourself and your inactivity, or multiple reasons why you could be in that situation. Let's not get caught up in that. Victim, whatever. Bottom level. At that level, you don't have steady income. You have bills that are overloaded, riding over your head. You're drowning. You don't have any steady income coming in. You don't have any serious direction just yet. You're struggling. That's the infrared victimized level. As soon as you get steady income, even though it may not be adequate to meet all of your bills, at least you have a structured income that you can rely on, even though it's not adequate, that will get you out of infrared and move you to the red zone. That's much better. It's better than being in infrared, but it's not adequate. Every now and then you'll poke your head up out of the red level to the third level, have something going on, but you can't sustain it because at the red level, you don't have adequate income. So you can't sustain those forays into the next level, which is the orange level, which is the worker level. You can't sustain that. That's why you go up, get something going, but it comes back down because you have not learned the secrets to remaining at the worker level. And whatever is the problem between red and orange, you're not doing those things necessary to stay at the orange level. So you're stuck between red and orange, bouncing back and forth. Once you finally solidify and get to the orange level, that's when you're really doing everything. You're the worker. So it goes from survivor to victim to survivor to worker. What you did at the victim level to get you up to survivor will not get you from survivor to worker. You have to change what you're doing because at the survivor level, you have to lock down, get that steady income, and begin to foray into those orange levels. Skill sets, begin to develop certain projects that you're working on, even though you still can't afford it, but you're starting the level. But eventually get to the point where you can start doing those things yourself, and now it's starting to work for you, and you have steady income, and you're doing it all so far because you are the worker. You're doing everything. And until you stop doing everything, which is the thing that got you out of red and got you to orange, which is worker, but it will not get you to yellow, which is the next level. In fact, the next level is called player. Not player like cool breeze chasing women player, but you're in the game. At that level, you move from worker where you're doing everything to having delegated and set up a team. Now your team is engaged and you're now at the green level and a whole nother level of income generation. But it goes higher than that. If you want to know what the next level is, I think I told you before, being engaged with me is going to cost you about $20 a month. But it's far more than just being engaged with me. It's access to marketing services. It's access to visibility. It's access to almost 50% of anyone that you refer to us that pays to be a part of our network, to take advantage of our products and services. You'll earn on a multi-level marketing platform, if you want to, up to 50% revenues. This was the best structure I could use to make sure that you all would get paid far beyond what your skill set really says you should get paid, or your knowledge level should get paid. That means you can take some giant leaps forward if you listen and pay attention to other people who know how to take big leaps. But I don't have to be. I know enough about business and my MBA and my years of experience. I'm pretty sure I can teach it. Pretty sure I can teach it. Yet, and still can make an impact on those people's lives and the lives of their whole family. So this year is devoted to becoming millionaire status, not just for me, but for some of you, having a regular income that would be equal to having $1 million in the bank. Here's my list right here. I'm going to go over this list later of those senators and those state representatives in the Houston community. No, let me go over it one more time. I'm going to call the names out. They have not been notified. I've talked to them one-on-one. But these are people that I'm recommending and inviting to be a senator in the new black city. Senators are at the state level because they have a skill set that says that their skill set is larger than just the local community, even though they're very, very concerned about local community. But Pastor Edward Small, Robert Muhammad, leadership, stature, dignity. Lanita Hale, work ethic, community-based. Marilyn Jones, business, wisdom. John Marsden, compassion, community-based. Deloyd Parker. I don't know much about Deloyd, except that he's been being Deloyd, and people revere him for his work in the community. So I've got to give him his due. Legacy, senator. David Sincere, whose name is Sincere, and he's also a very sincere person, which means without wax in the Greek. Community activist, pastor. Andre Matthews, leadership, youth focus. D. Mars, legendary networker in Houston. He did my logo for me. He probably doesn't remember. D. Mars, I know you remember when we were over there in the arena place on the 9th floor years ago. Chris Spellman, knowledge, wisdom. Gary Monroe. I'm a Detroit and Monroe's a Yates Lion. I really had a lot of respect for Monroe. I like his heart. Those are state senators. And then we have some people here that state representatives. One of them I had on here was Alan Provost. There are a few other people in the community. There are no elected officials in our black community government, and that's by design, because the black elected officials have a role to play, and we don't want them to be compromised by being on one of our, or compromise us by being on one of our committees and whatnot. But we will collaborate with the elected officials. I feel a great need to call for a truce and a squash of all beefs that are not really deep-seated beefs on the political scene in Houston. There are people that have been there for a while, have served the community, and I think that there's some people that have been there for a while and have misserved the community. Well, it's a new day. It's a new day. Let's try to start. I know for me, I think it's wonderful God removed me from Houston for about 5 years, put me on a mountain far, far away, took good care of me, but now I'm coming back. An opportunity now to start all over a little bit, to restart what I was doing before I left, in a way that we can bring in more collaborative opportunities to collaborate with the elected officials and the non-elected leaders in the community, who are the elected officials, be the public servants for which they've chosen to take the position of being. So the next conversation is going to be on education. We're going to talk about the campus-based school boards. One more time, I'm going to tell you individuals who are getting involved. On the next day, it's on business. If you have a business, you'd like to talk about your business online, then you can contact me and I can bring you online and we'll talk about it. I'll interview you. We're moving toward that. I'm not in a rush for that, because once you start bringing other people in, their agenda, you need to get my agenda out, because in order to lead, you need to know what I'm doing. So there's no need right now for major discussion back and forth, because I'm not trying to convince. Right now, I'm trying to lay out the program for what we're doing, and we will let the wall that we build speak for itself. On the next day, we deal with politics, and that's where we look at another look at how we deal with our political leaders here in the Houston area as well as across the country. And then finally, on Friday nights, which you may know or not know, I'm a believer in the seventh-day Sabbath. That's the Sabbath is Friday night, so it's a great opportunity for me to have a Bible study. And the reason I would have the Bible study, I'm not trying to convince you to believe in anything, Jesus or a moose, but I would like to have an intellectual discussion with some of you that have arguments about why God does not exist, why Jesus is a joke. And, I just would like to have it, because if you're right, piece of that, because what I found with Christ and what I found through the Bible is so good. I haven't found anything else to surpass it. It just makes me somebody who's found a pearl of great price. That's all. But I want to have a conversation with you. Let's discuss these things, because people are wondering, why do we have all these problems if there really is a God? Doesn't God love us? Doesn't God care? It's really comical. And I'm going to say this and then we're done. I'm not going to say it today. Millionaire Business Club, and start working on getting your money together for 2025. We'll be that are ready to make a move. 84 educators now. The numbers are going down. These people are going to do very well financially in 2025 and 2025 before the year starts. Have a great day.